Hi guys, and welcome to another Gre Monday. For those of you who haven't watched the previous episodes or probably are looking for a little bit of brush up, I should say AWA, Analytical Writing Assessment, consists of two tasks, issue analysis and argument analysis. And today's episode is a special because we're going to analyze a real authentic argument with a GRE expert. And you know who I'm talking about.
Hey guys, I'm more than happy to be with you again.
All right. We know that we're going to read a rather long argument, 5 to 6 lines, I guess. And we're going to only 30 minutes to plan, write, and revise our essay. And we have to write some 500 words in order to get a decent score. Please say it's not as intimidating as it seems.
It depends on you. It could be either intimidating or not. You know, I've got some good news for you. You have access to the full list of the topics before the test day. It's not like IELTS and TOEFL, you know. Actually, that's the nature of the test. We put the name analytical in there. So why? Because your thinking and your critical thinking and the way that you analyze something is very important. Not the way that you write, not just like, I don't know, complex structure. It's not like IELTS. It's not like IELTS. So they give you the topics, the prompts. ETS calls the list of topics for argument pull-up argument, and the list of issues.
How diverse?
Actually, 176 different prompts actually we have for argument analysis, and 152 we have for issue analysis. Altogether, 328 if I'm not mistaken. So if you spend just like half an hour or 1 hour every day, just like 2 weeks before the test, definitely you can brainstorm all of them, and on the day of exam, all that you need to do is just see the topic and remember your brainstorming and the key points that you had in mind, and just like organize them and type them. And that's over.
A lot better.
Actually, in half an hour, you can easily write a very good essay.
Okay, and how many different instructions exist?
There are 4 different types of instructions for argument analysis. I mean, you have the list. But the instruction at the end, we have mostly 4 different distinct types of the instructions. One of them is question format. The other one is evidence format. The other one is alternative explanation, and the other one is assumption format. Yes, actually, assumption, evidence, and question are very frequent. Just something around 70-75% of the questions are of this type. Yes.
Okay, what do you have for us today?
Even more than 70, just something around 85% of questions, yes. For alternative explanation, we do not have a lot of problems.
All right, so what do you have for us today?
What do you have for us today? To practically work on one argument. Actually, there is one argument which is provided with a sample essay on ETS website, so I decided to work on that one. This is actually the first argument on the list. I mean, pull-up argument, and let's see what happens. I want to think aloud.
Right? That sounds great.
Whenever I see the argument, I have just some thoughts. I want to share those thoughts with you, and actually in the next episode, definitely we're going to work through the list of the flaws, the common flaws that actually happen in the line of reasoning and the arguments.
That's great help.
In that case, definitely, it would be very helpful. And what we're going to do today is, again, because a lot of students have problems in brainstorming the argument.
Yes. So let's do it. Let's get into it.
This one is about Mason City residents. Actually, the arguer is trying to arrive at the conclusion that we need more budget to make the river cleaner and buy new facilities to attract more people to use this river for their recreational activities.
Right.
I don't know to what extent you think it's convincing, but buying new facilities would attract more people to swim in a city flowing through the river. Yeah. A lot of unfounded assumptions are present here.
What are they?
No matter the instruction type, whenever I see an argument, I try to first find the assumptions. Whenever you see the word survey or study, you need to think about these 2 major principles. Was it valid? Validity of that study, and was it reliable? You know, how many people participated in that survey? How did you choose those people? I mean, recipients and those people who decided to take part in this study or survey. Or how many different types of questions? What kind of questions? Or who was running this survey or study? Who was in charge of that? These are just the principal issues.
So these are different from facts. I mean, the way we look at surveys and studies.
Different because you are conducting a study or you are devising a survey to see what really happens there. So there might be some kind of bias. It depends on the person, it depends on the question, it depends on the target. So we have this kind of bias. And on the other hand, we have objectivity when you want to run a survey. So you need to scrutinize all these points.
So see these two problematic words, surveys and studies. We're going to question its validity and its reliability. All right, the next step, let's move further. If we read a little further, we said, in surveys, Mason City residents rank water sports among their favorite recreational activities.
Yeah, actually this is very, like, I don't know, simplistic, oversimplistic, or problematic, whatever. It says favorite recreational activities, and at the end of this argument it says that, okay, people use this river. So, hey, I have a lot of favorite recreational activities. I like soccer, I like, I don't know, skiing, I like tennis, I like a lot of different things, but it does not necessarily mean that I want to perform those activities, right? So here, it's a kind of unfounded assumption, right? Or a connection between these two was made, but not effectively, by the author. It says that, okay, if you say it's your favorite activity, it means that you necessarily want to perform it. On what grounds? Okay? So this is a point that you can put your finger on.
Okay, and next?
And the river flowing through the city is rarely used for these pursuits. So what was it like before, in the past, some years back, 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago? Did people use this river?
Maybe this river has never been used.
Yeah, maybe. Because of some intrinsic problems or intrinsic properties, not problems. Maybe because of some intrinsic
Like what? Can you
properties.
make an
Like
example?
we have some kind of rivers that actually they contain sulfur and they give off some smell. You cannot, or we have some super shallow rivers that you cannot go there for swimming because it is.
These are some properties that you can never remove from the water,
No,
like their intrinsic features that you said.
If you change these properties, you need to change the nature of
The river altogether, so it's not possible.
Not that river anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually it says that City Park Department devotes little of its budget. We don't know how much is the whole budget of the City Park Department. So maybe 90% of the budget which is allocated to that City Park Department is spent on maintaining riverside recreational facilities. We don't know anything about the facts and figures. So we ask for facts and figures. We ask for a number. How much is the full
So it should be
budget?
transparent.
Yes. Yeah. Because little, few, waste, some words like this are considered judgmental when they're not backed by some evidence.
And maybe little of its budget is so much itself.
Yes, we don't know.
No, okay. And then we got this. For years, there have been complaints from residents about the quality of the river's water and the river's smell.
Because of the same reason that I already mentioned, you know, maybe this river has this kind of intrinsic property because of sulfur, because of some therapeutic property that's inherent in that water. It gives it some bad smell. So,
And maybe some people go and visit the river because of that therapeutic.
because of this, yes. So is it wise to spend money to make this cleaner, to treat that water? Is it okay? It's not. So it's a probability. We need to ask a question regarding this. If this is true, definitely by spending money or allocating more budget, you're not going to reach your target. This argument is not going to reach its goal.
How many complaints? Like,
Yeah, how many complaints?
what about a number?
There have been complaints. How many complaints? How many people complain? You have two different issues. How many complaints and how many people kept complaining? Sometimes you have just like some grumpy old people. They keep complaining every day. Just like 10 people every day make some complaint calls. But sometimes you have just like 50% of the population living there.
And we don't know the population of that
we
area.
know that one.
All right.
Yes.
And we got also for years, and we don't know how many years.
Yes. Maybe since the genesis of the river, this has been with that. So in that case, we cannot change it because of the smell, or because, I don't know, sometimes you have some rivers that no fish would ever live there.
Fishing with
Fishing
inconsequential there, I guess. All right. So, and if we read a little more, in response, the state has recently announced plans to clean up Mason River.
Okay. And there's an assumption here that it takes states responsible to clean up Mason River. Nice. Yes, but it's not very strong. If I wanted to write an essay, I would not consider this one. You know, because you are supposed to just include the major,
the most
problems,
conspicuous ones, right?
Flaws, yes. And the last one is that use of the river for water sports is therefore sure to increase. The city government should, for that reason, devote more money in this year's budget. And there is a kind of assumption here.
In this year's budget.
The source of this is that in this year's budget, so you know, paperwork takes years to be completed. So, but here the arguers assumes that if we want to increase the budget, we can see the result in this year's budget, and considers paperwork being done very fast. I don't know based on what the actually arguer says that.
All right, thank you. So I guess this was an analysis of this argument today. And in the next video, we're going to go over a full list of complete flaws. Yes. Oh, that's going to be great. Anything else for today's video? No?
Thank you very much.
All right, great. Thank you.
I'm a little worried because this kind of talk is very serious and maybe people would get bored. But unfortunately, this is the true nature of the GRE exam. And GRE is considered something like fun in Iran. Unlike the United States, yes, actually American people take it very seriously and they know the gravity of the result of this test. But here it's just like fun for Iranian people. This is not okay. So the nature of the exam is serious, and whatever related to the true nature of the exam
should be serious.
Inevitably turns out to be very serious.
Thank you very much. And thank you for watching us. Don't forget to show us your full support by leaving comments and giving us feedback. See you next week with another GRE Monday.